TCS Radar, we are back. It's episode 19. We are just reviewing the games that we attended this week. And we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So this first game that we went to, man, was St. Paul Johnson versus Minneapolis South, man. I was real excited going into this game early just because of the matchups, you know what I'm saying? Johnson being a powerhouse in my opinion, being one of the better basketball programs, especially in believe they're 3A. Yep. So just being, I feel like one of the best programs in 3A. So I just always it's always a good time to see them play. And also Minneapolis South has a young promising player in Jameer Wright. So that was really the main objective going into this game, just looking up that matchup and seeing how he will play, man. So we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, so you was in the building. What you think about this game?
Man, the game was fun, man. The game was fun from the beginning to the end, just because they was actually out there hooping. Like the first half was very competitive, man. Very competitive from South. I know Jameer had a lot of the points going in. Jameer Wright had a lot of the points in the first half. I believe he had around 15 in that first half. So he definitely was showcasing some of the stuff he was doing. He's able to do his skill set. So I thought that was real exciting. The one thing I like about his game is he really like a playmaker. Right. He's a real playmaker. As you just see, he's good at setting up for his others. He likes passing the ball. He's real passive. You rarely see that in point guards these days, man. And he was just real fun to watch, man. He's going up against the Giants and Johnson. That's like I said before, it's a powerhouse over there, man. Shout out to Colin Moore Jr. on the backdoor cut right there to Tavy.
Who for Johnson played well in this game?
I mean, Johnson had a collective as a whole, but
that's their IQ.
Yeah, that's their IQ. But
identity, my bad.
Yeah, that's definitely their identity. But to me, Jermaine stood out.
Got some highlights.
Yeah, I got some highlights. He's just we said it before. We're gonna keep on saying it. He's just must see TV. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the stuff he's able to do in the transition, and not even in the transition, he's dunking on people in half-court settings as well, As you see the still right there by Tavius, this is one of them, what they do, what the young kids do, what y'all do.
And it's no hesitation either. He's going up for the dunk.
And that's what I like about it, because so many kids that have that ability, when you're blessed and you're able to jump and you have that ability and you're not scared, you know what I'm saying, to jump or scared to unleash that beast, that's what you can do. Because when he's in the air, he seemed like he's just free. Like he don't even care what's going on. Like it's him, and if you in the way, it might be tight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he just must see TV, man. As you could just see right there, like. Let's just go back on that, man.
All right.
Let's just go back on that. Because how many kids do you see just doing this randomly? Like, that's not like a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Not a normal thing at all. Like, come on, son. Like, what are we talking about here? That's must-see TV right there.
Yeah, but
go ahead, my bad,
no,
man.
I was saying, I was finishing what you were saying to the point where, if you got the ability and you can, like, do it. Show out a little bit. It's easy. It's nice to go for the easy layup sometimes and secure the point, but if you got it, show it. That's how you get seen. People like to see exciting things, But do it responsibly and safely.
Yeah, do it responsibly and safely. But, I know they say dunk is the 2 points, but it is a fun 2 points that may get people out their seats, and it may help you out in the future. So, of course, learn the games. Do the fundamentals. Play the game the right way. But learn how to dunk too. If you can dunk like that every time. That's what he's doing. So Must TV Maine and Johnson over there, they came out with the W. They won. It was a good game. Like I said, Jameer Wright is one of the most. Jameer Wright. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm about to cut it out. But yeah, Jameer Wright is one of the most talented players that I feel like we have in the state. Especially him only being a sophomore, that's even more promising. So that's how I feel about that, man.
Yeah, and South, they're 4-3 now. And actually, they beat Becker after losing this game to Johnson. And then they lost to Hiawatha, which is a game we're going to cover coming up here. But Jameer in that Becker game had a 30-piece in that win against Becker. And Becker is 6-1, so that's a good program out there. And shout out to Isaiah Boyer from Becker. He had 30 points in that game as well. But yeah, to your point, Jameer definitely only being a sophomore player to watch out for, and hopefully we were talking off camera, man. There's a lot of talent coming through Minnesota. There has been since the Tyus Jones days and beyond. Has been like just more and more, and if we can just keep these guys in state, man, just imagine like a guy like Jameer playing for the Gophers or something like that. Like, man, you never know. So anyway, shout out to them. And then Johnson, they're 6-0 now, man. So. After this game, they beat Irondale and they beat Park Center at that Concordia Holiday Classic. Yep. Maine had another highlight dunk in that one.
Body bag. Body to body.
So their next games, they got Hardin, Washington, Como. So, they got those 3 games before they play Central.
The Lord have mercy.
So probably going to say 9-0. More than likely going into – can't sleep, though, because they lost to Como last year.
Maine wasn't playing.
Yeah, they didn't have their full roster. Johnson didn't. But anyway, they could be 9-0 going to that Central game.
Big Kenny was hurt too, I believe.
Right.
But you're right.
But it's I think most encouraging to see that they've been putting away these teams that they're supposed to be beating.
Look at that. Did you see that?
Oh, my bad.
Look at that. Just look at this. Look what we try to do. And this is just what we're talking about when you say you want to just have fun and like.
Right. Like, even on a miss.
Even on a miss, man. But yeah, man, that was a good game. Like you said, man. Should we get on to the next game?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. This next game, man, we got North St. Paul versus Simley, man. You happened to be there in attendance, man. How was that game?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because this is one of those games where on social media we was like, "Hey, what game should we go to?" And somebody responded. So this is what we did. I mean, and we like that engagement. We've said before, there's a lot of different teams, a lot of different games to cover. We're a small team and all that, but we love getting ideas from the community about who we should be watching and who should be on our radar to say. But yeah, this was a game where players where we don't really know as much, so we love going to those games, discovering new players there. So that's Wayne Gibson right there, number 2 for North St. Paul. So a lot of good action here. Number 5, Terrence Horton from North St. Paul was actually a player that was impressive. Number 12, Jayshawn Nelson from North St. Paul, another impressive player. On the Simley side, you had Connor Strife, number 15. He got the dunk towards the end of this highlight, but a very good player. I'm pretty sure he had a game high between both teams. And then Arnulfo Flores, number 2 for Simley. Number 3, Trey Lovelace. Number 11, Andre Glass. They all play well. And then Trey, Arnulfo, and Andre, they're all underclassmen. So to see that foundation of guards that they got over there, that'll be pretty interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. Who was some players that you kind of didn't know about at all that you kind of were surprised at when you went there?
Well, I guess Arnulfo Flores, I had heard about him before, but I hadn't seen him. Same with Andre Glass, had seen him before, but not really much. So to be able to see those 2 young guards, freshmen and sophomores, respectively, I think that was pretty impressive. And then even North St. Paul, they got some young guys too, as well. So
that's what's up, man. So the game didn't really end on its regular terms. Is that correct?
Yeah, it got canceled.
Yeah. So that was can you kind of explain that a little bit? Like what led up to the cancellation of the game?
Yeah, it was an altercation between players that spilled into the sidelines and, coaches got involved or whatnot. But just unfortunate, man. We've been hearing about the stuff at Hopkins this year and then last year and, just other games, other odd end stuff that you hear, one-off stuff that you hear in the news. In Minnesota high school sports, so just another unfortunate event. But Simley was pretty much running away with it. So I mean,
it was like a minute and 21 seconds left, right?
Yeah, it wasn't much left. And yeah, I think tensions just got high. I'm pretty sure these are conference teams. So,
they are.
Yeah, they are. So there was a little already history between the teams and things like that. But I think for all things considered, I think it, what the skirmish and all that did break out. I don't know if it led to any injuries. I don't think it did. I think it led to some suspensions.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be some suspensions. Just looking at the footage of it, of course, we're not gonna, show it. We're just not gonna show it. But just going off of the whole situation, everybody that was involved, I'm looking at it as the kids are gonna be kids. They're youths. They're kids. I guess they should be held to accountability. But when you see a physical altercation breaking out and you're a referee, and you're a coach, and it's happening right in front of you, or it's happening right in front of your bench, it is your obligation to break that up as an adult. Not only it should. I mean, I don't know how it works with the high school officiating. Mm-hmm. I can understand AAU not breaking up a fight, which is because that's like I'm just here for it's not even like a real game, official game.
Right.
But a high school game is like official. So I don't understand what the refs are being taught, but and I'm not saying refs should be out here trying to box kids or trying to put themselves in harm's way, but at the point of the altercation, the refs and the coaches could have done a way better job of breaking that up. Right. They let the kids control the room. The kids controlled the room, and that's why it ended like that. If there was more adults who were there around, and I'm not talking about the adults who came from the stands and came from other various areas in the building, because they're the ones who kind of essentially helped it. But at the end of the day, coaches got to control their players to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. If somebody commits a foul, they do certain things. I know you can't control that initially, but if the person is still, you got to just kind of control it better, man. That was ridiculous. It was a bad look for Minnesota basketball, not inner city bad. Like as you said, Minnesota. These aren't inner city schools who are playing each other. These are like technically more like suburban type schools. Have you said? Yeah. But I just feel like it was a bad look, and adults got to do better in that situation. So that's all I'll leave on that. What's Assembly's record? What's the records for the teams? You have those?
So it's North St. Paul 0-6. Not doing too well right now. Lost Duke. Duke is one of their best players who's over at Tartan now. Just saw some highlights of him in the last segment. Yeah, 0-6 for them, and then 6-3 for Assembly.
All right. Should we go on to the next game? All right, man. We back, man. This was, to me, the actual game of the day, man. Shout out to Tartan, Maple Grove. We were also there, too. But this was the game of the day to me, from a competitive standpoint, from an intensity standpoint, from a hooping standpoint.
Right.
They were just doing their thing, man. It felt like a heavyweight boxing match, man. You got, Jameer right here, who we just talked about him, earlier this week. The kid is just a pure bucket, man. Him and King James battling out here back to back. It was almost like Ja Morant versus Zion Williamson almost. It was like, it gave me that type of feeling. Me being a fan of the high school sports, Minnesota sports we cover, it felt like that. And I felt like they both came up. They both came up and they did what they had to do. They both left it on the court. They both finished with 30 points. Right. Literally, I believe King James had 31. I believe we can double check on that, but I believe Jameer had 30. But the game was just fun from the jump, man. You know, it was a little bit chippy, a little bit of intensity, but we basketball players. It was from a competitive standpoint. So you kind of got to respect it and accept it, man. So I loved it. I loved it from that standpoint. It was a back and forth game. It was a kind of high scoring game. The game was so good it didn't even finish in regulation, you know. And you got King James look at this like, You know, I was go crazy, man. That's just what I like to see. I like the dunks. I like this. It's just everything about it, man. And they were playing in the Capital City Classic, so that was just a big. Because there was a lot of coaches there. I saw, like, you know, Hamlin coaches was there before watching by, seeing this game, seeing this action. So I know the kids playing in front of them, playing in the college like this, even though, you know, Hamlin's a D3. I know they try to downplay D3. It's a college. Right. That is a college court. That is a college arena. So you were playing on a college level, playing on a college floor, and I think it just gives them that extra intensity because they all were playing. Like, the intensity was up. Everybody was doing their thing. Shout out to the N1 there. That was Jake Dixon, man. He's real nice. He actually had a couple of dunks. Well, he had a dunk this game, and he almost had a dunk to tip, but he got fouled on it. But he kind of impressed me, too, because I know when they played Johnson, I didn't see much of that from him. But seeing that this game kind of impressed me, man. But, yeah, man, It was a real fun game.
Yeah, South seems to have some sneaky players. And I remember last week you had asked if South would, or sorry, you had asked who would be the best team in the Minneapolis Conference, and I was saying North or bang out.
Ooh, little Jameer with the bang out.
That was an easy dunk.
That was an easy dunk. He didn't even try to dunk it.
But yeah, you were asking who would probably be the best Minneapolis Conference team, and saying North and Washburn. And honestly, I still think it's going to be one of those two. And North beat South earlier this year, so I just say that to say, man, I don't know who's going to be that third place team or that team that can maybe sneak in the second or maybe topple one of those teams, because Southwest was looking good when we saw them as well. But just like you said, like guys like Jake Dixon and then athletes like Le'Veon Gales, and you got the Ibrahim, both Ramadan and Ridwan Ibrahim. So just some sneaky players, DeMontre Scott. So I think South can actually make some noise over in the Minneapolis Conference by the end of the year, but we'll see what happens. And then Hiawatha, on the other hand, they don't really have the strongest schedule, let's say, right now between now and when they play Johnson towards the end of January. So we'll see. I mean, they had a lot, 5-3 right now, Hiawatha is, so they've had a lot of their tests already. Lost to Minnehaha Academy, lost to Southwest Christian, lost to North. So those are some of the tougher opponents on their schedule anyway. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and what you said, man, like, you just got to wait and see. I know conference is coming up real soon for St. Paul and Minneapolis, so that's going to be something that we're going to be paying real heavy to on both sides. We love the competitive nature in the city, so we always going to show up to these conference games and make sure that we're there to do what we got to do and make sure we're there covering the right way, the proper way. So I think it's going to be real fun, man, because watching this, it seemed like it was a conference game almost.
Right.
It seemed like it was a conference game, but we're going to see real soon, man. But, in overtime, Hiawatha did get away with the W. And, that's that, man. But I'm happy to see both teams play going forward, man. So I guess we'll just go on to the next team, man. You got anything else?
No. Well, I guess I would say this is our third time seeing Hiawatha this year, I believe. Yep. And our third time seeing South as well, I believe. But it is nice just to see some of these players more than once, so we're starting to recognize some of these players' games, and you can have a true analysis that way. It's easy to see somebody one time and cast a judgment, but we're just trying to do the best we can to platform these players and get them some recognition,
yes, sir.
recognition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, so we got this next game here. Austin against Twin Cities Academy. Still in the Hamlin Holiday Classic. Hamlin, man, just bringing everybody together from the city in here. But what do you think about this game?
This game, I didn't know what I was going to get going into this game. But, once the game started, I noticed, Austin is a basketball town. Like, they play basketball in that town.
Right.
They really do.
Yeah, they like their sports for sure.
Yeah, they love their sports. That's the home of John Madden. Uh-huh. So that's a real fact. That's the home of John Madden. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I actually spent time in Austin, Minnesota, me playing basketball for Riverland once upon a time ago, and I was just impressed with the whole process, man. I was real impressed with Cole Hebrink, man. He is crazy, man, because he probably doesn't remember, but I remember seeing him right there as he just gets another bucket. 0. Yep, he scores the first 5 points. But seeing him as a player now, like, he's like a real facilitator. He's like a shooter. He's almost like an all-around player when it comes to that offensive end and what he's able to do. So it was real fun to see them. They got some exciting athletes. We got a couple of we caught a couple of dunks. Well, really a high-flying type of dunk, man. But I was real impressed with it, man. I was real impressed with them. They moved the ball very well. They'll make the extra pass. No one seems selfish on this team. Everyone seems to be locked in and knows their role. Right. So, yeah, man, that's really how I feel about them. Yeah, man, I was real impressed with Banyan Omont. Correct me if I said your name wrong, my good brother. But he's an athlete, man. Did you see this dunk? Like, this dunk.
I definitely seen it through this.
Like, that was just like, look, he took off way outside the box. Like, way outside the box.
Comfortable.
Way outside the box. That was, Cole Hebrink starting off that break again with the steal. But yeah, he's an athlete for sure.
Nice. He got his brother as well.
Twin. His twin brother, I believe.
Alani Omont. Okay.
Yep. But they're a real fun team. As you see, they move the ball. They move the ball. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows their role on this team, and that's going to be very, very important come time when it's time for sections, when it's time for state. You have to know your role, and when you have that, your whole team buys in. This is going to be nasty too. Just wasn't able to finish it, but that was, so I don't know. Austin is definitely impressive. They're a team who I now have on my radar, which I say is when that time comes, you have to watch out for them, man.
So he's still underclassman?
I believe Hebrink is Hebrink's a senior. He's a senior, so he's in his last year right now. I believe he's already signed to a college.
Yep, Valley City State looks like he's going.
Yep. So he's going there, man. And man, I think Austin's gonna have a good year. We're gonna see how this ends. We're gonna see, like I said, come playoff time, we're gonna be there.
All right, and then Austin. So what? They 5-3 now. Then they play Cottage Grove next, who's 6-1, so that'll be a good test for them. But then also wanted to quickly shout out Jake Steele from TCA. He had most of the points for TCA this game. He had 30, at least 30, right?
Yeah, he had at least 30.
Right.
He had at least 30. I know he'll let me know, but yeah, he was definitely he makes tough shots. We saw him play last year with Jamal Randall. We saw a couple of their games, and he can flat out shoot the ball, man. But it's he did as much as he could. It's tough. High school varsity basketball is tough. It's tough, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Right.
It can mentally break you, or it can help you. Or you can build from it and learn from it. But he did the best he could in a tough environment, tough situation. As you see right here, he makes tough shots. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So he made multiple ones of those. I believe he finished with 30 points. They only had 37 points. So, I mean, you could do the math on that. And like I said, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's as far as I was there. That's what it looked like. It's kind of hard for us to actually talk about certain stats and certain things because the coaching staff or whoever does the books don't do them. So we may have a proposal for you in the future where we can help you. Help us. Let us help you. Help yourself.
Oh, yeah.
In God we trust.
Especially if you're taking the stats already. Like, let's just get these transferred over.
Like, what are y'all doing down there with the book? Are y'all writing diaries? Like, just write the assists. It's easy to say, okay, if you're writing the fouls for him, you're doing the points for him. It's there's a box there that says fouls, rebounds, and assists. It's easy to do that. Like, you can't tell me,
get a student manager on it or something.
Yeah, student manager, make it a credit class for students at the school. So that way, if there's a concern with old people not doing it right, do something. This is ridiculous. But let's get on to this next game.
All right, continuing in this Hamlin Holiday Classic, we got Central against Armstrong. What'd you think about this one?
It was a fun first half for sure. It was competitive. I know Central faced some adversity because Eli picked up 2 quick early fouls, so he sat for most of the first half. So I know that was kind of one of those things that they had to. The role guys, the other guys had to step up, and I feel like that's exactly what they did. Seffi was balling out as he just gets the bucket. Et also was balling out. It was a lot. I saw a lot of good from Central. As we cover Central a lot. We've done all accesses with them, so we're very familiar with their game and their players' games and kind of how they want to play. Shout out to Coach Cam. We know like the type of philosophy he preaches, but it was a fun game, man. The first half was very, very competitive. Central eventually did end up pulling away with the W. The final score of that was 68-54, and it was just a real fun game, man. It was a real fun game. I know Armstrong definitely surprised me with some of their players. Yeah, man, Javon Watson from Armstrong definitely impressed me. He actually had a dunk, man. Unfortunately, due to the battery of the camera being changed, we weren't able to catch it, man. But he definitely is a athletic, tall type of person. I like his game. I like his style. He doesn't force anything. He's real smooth. He's a left-hand guy. Left-hand players always have the advantage because I feel like they're like kind of rare on the court. When somebody's a left hand, you don't see a lot of left-hand players. When you do see them, typically they're harder to guard because they're kind of unorthodox. It's like an unorthodox type of way they're playing just because of their left hand. That was an unorthodox
spin right there. He spinned inside.
That was that was who was that right there that just did that spin move?
I wasn't sure. Sorry, I missed. That Drew Mertens.
Yeah, Drew Mertens. Is that him again? Yeah, that's him again. He was nice. I know. I'm pretty. Like I said, they also didn't have Armstrong's roster listed, so we had to find that on our own, at least for the program at the Hammond tournament. But yeah, he actually, I believe, led them in scoring because he was out there having the time. He was actually doing all he could to do in this game, nonstop from inside out. He was hitting threes. He was getting to the line. He was driving the lane. He was running in transition. He was getting them on the paint in the block. So he's a real impressive player too as well. Well, he was really impressive this game. So he definitely stood out to me in this game. But, in the end, Central just pulled away with it, man. Central has a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. They have a lot of offense, in my opinion. And they just honestly fell in love with what they were doing, and it eventually took over. Because at first they were playing their game when Eli went out, and then once he came back, it was kind of a different subject as Cephii gets the and one again.
Right. So Central here, 7-1 after, or 7-1 right now. And so, man, it's kind of the same thing we talked about with Johnson earlier. They got 3 more games as well before the Johnson game. So Central has Washington, Benilde, which actually should be an interesting game, Benilde against Central. Then they got Highland as well. So potential, I think Benilde's only 2-4 right now or something like that. So this is an opportunity for Central to be potentially 10-1 going into the Johnson game, and Johnson could be undefeated, it looks like, possibly. So some
that's gonna be a game.
Yeah, some good anticipation there.
That's gonna be a game.
And do you think, if maybe it's just too much projecting or forward thinking, but Central messes around going to that game 10-1, they beat Johnson 11-1. Are they one of the best teams in 4A, or a top 5 team in 4A, you would think?
I mean, I know they kind of do a lot of those rankings based off of who you played. Mm-hmm. I would say, I mean, they should be, if they are 10-1 going into Johnson, they should be ranked somewhere. They should be ranked higher than what they have been. I haven't been seeing them in the top 10 rank at all. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you're saying, like I said, it'd be top 10.
Right.
I don't want to just say yes, and I do my homework on that, but I believe if they should be, at least they should get some recognition from that, because Johnson is ranked number, as of today, they're top 5. Yeah, I think they have to move up now after the Christmas kind of results they've gotten. So Johnson might have to move up higher. I mean, I don't know. Like Johnson's 3A. I don't know if it's a lot of people better than Johnson right now.
Right.
But
we'll see.
We'll see, man. Let's get on to this next game. All right, man. We got this next game, man. We got Hill Murray versus Forest Lake.
Yep.
Yeah, man. The Wilson sisters are always fun to play, man. Always fun to see play. I know I seen them once when they played Como last year. They are amazing. How do you feel about that game, man? You actually was there, man. How you feel about that game?
Yeah, this is Hill Murray's Holiday Classic, and it actually goes into next week, so there's some more games coming up. But yeah, this game was exciting because going into it, Hill Murray's 5-1 and Forest Lake was 8-1. So, and like Wayne said, we having seen the Wilson sisters last year, and then seeing the records of these two teams, it was a game that we knew we wanted to be at. But yeah, Hill Murray won this one. Final score was 81-55. But it looked like it was going to be a blowout early, and then Forest Lake went on a run. They was able to keep it close. But yeah, by the time halftime came around, Hill Murray was up 16, and they didn't really look back from there. But yeah, number 11, Aubrey Holtman for Forest Lake. You just saw her there.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, child. That was a good move.
Maya Wilson there. So, yeah, Hill Murray had 3 players who scored 20 or more. So they had Sarah Popart had 25, and Maya and Ashley Wilson both had over 20 as well. Ashley, I believe, 23, and Maya with 20. So, yeah, the people you expected to score showed up. And, give some shout-outs to some Forest Lake players here. We already mentioned number 11, Aubrey Holtman. I would say the most impressive player from Forest Lake on the night. And she finished with 16. And then number 5, Kendall Damon, and number 4, Savannah Point. They had 13 and 12 points respectively. And then Hamlet commit Haley DeRue, she had 11 points as well. So good talent. Hill Murray did get the better of them. They won pretty comfortably. But in this tournament, both teams, or in this showcase, both teams still have to play Richfield. And Richfield is 7-1 right now. So that's going to be a good test for both of those teams. And then both of those teams have to play Champlain Park as well as part of that Hill Murray showcase.
They were shooting the ball this game, wasn't they?
Yeah, no, honestly. And
shooting the leather out the ball.
Yeah, and Sarah Popard, I wasn't as familiar with her, number 5 from Hill Murray.
Yeah.
But she looked like the best player in the night here, just the easy pull up.
That's another one. They just shoot. Yeah, they just shooting the ball very well. They're shooting the ball very well. It looks like those are like rhythm shots. Yeah. So it's like that's how you know they're real comfortable seeing defensive end. Defense wins game. Got to finish that too and one.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Wilson sisters were as tall as they are.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. Oh, that was a good pass. Yeah. Good drop. Yeah, they're going. Hey, we got some Minnesota sports fan. We got something special over there at Hill Murray.
Honest.
We got something special with that girls basketball team. Shout out to them. Shout out to the whole coaching program, and shout out to the school, man.
The fadeaway right here. Yep, backboard fadeaway.
Yeah, they got some game for sure. For sure, we definitely will be at more of those games, man, for sure.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of talent in the girls' ranks here in Minnesota, man, and the junior class, sophomore class. So, every year more and more players crop up. So it's gonna be exciting to keep our eyes out. And see who can do what, man.
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. Should we get to the next game?
Let's do it. All right, so last game here. We got Maple Grove against Tartan. One of the big games everybody wanted to see. Wayne, what you think about this one?
Yeah, man, it was a highly anticipated game. This is the game that everybody planned on going to. This is the game that was the most packed. This is the game that was basically had the most anticipation, man. Both ranked teams, both teams that are, contenders to win, the whole state championship, And I think the game lived up to the hype, A lot of people are on Tartan. Tartan has the target on their back, and Tartan has been handling every target that has been walking up on them. Like, I know a lot of people in the city have a negative thing to say about Tartan when it comes to the teams they play, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, these kids is doing what they got to do. These athletes is doing what they got to do. They're walking down their opponent. They're doing what I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I don't get like how you can get mad at this. So they beat Hopkins already. They just beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? Like, what's next? Maple Grove is one of the top teams in the school. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that I got from this game, but a lot of it I already kind of knew just because, being around Tartan last year, we did all access and we kind of just seen how the team prepares, how they're poised. They should have went further as Emmanuel gets the dunk right there, man. They're just a team that I feel like they know their identity. Tartan knows the type of ball they need to play, and they play it the right way. They have a lot of new transfers that came in, big transfers. Duke King. You got Terrell Pride back, who was at Tartan originally, transferred to Johnson for a year. Now he's back. So I felt like this team is just a lot. And Will Iverson, that was a hell of a move. I know he didn't finish the shot. Will Iverson was also impressive, but I know he didn't do as much he wanted to this game. I think he finished. Max Iverson. I'm sorry. I said Will Iverson. I'm going to get that out. But, Max Iverson. So he didn't play as well as he could have. Max only finished with 12 points, I believe. So I know he wanted to get more than that. But other than that, man, I feel like Tartan, the better team won. At the end of the day, the better team won. I feel like Tartan is kind of proving all the doubters wrong. They're walking down their opponent, and they're winning.
Yeah, 6-0, like you said. Babacar An, the other popular player from Maple Grove, 24 points. So
KJ Wilson.
KJ had 18.
KJ Wilson is I'm saying it now. He is a top 5 player in Minnesota this year, right now, so far.
Right, as a sophomore.
As a sophomore. I'm saying it. Stamped.
Yeah, he's real nice, definitely. 7-2, Maple Grove. We'll see how they can rebound.
Yeah, man, we'll see, man. But man. You got anything else, man? We got any more games? Are we good? That was a long week, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was good. That was definitely good. Maple Grove got Hopkins coming up, so we'll see how that goes. Then they got to play Tonka and Wyzetta, so proving ground for everybody. And honestly, you got to be on your P's and Q's every night. It seems for those top teams, those top 3A. I mean, every class, but 3A, 4A for sure.
You can't be a sleeper out here.
Yeah, and then Tartan, they got Brainerd and Two Rivers coming up. So it'll be interesting.
All right, man. It's TCS Radar, man. Episode 19, weekly recap, man. We are out.